All right. First was easy. What's the perimeter of the shed? My pen's not drawing. I must have given him the wrong pen. No, computer's just garbage. So what's the perimeter of the shed? Somebody can tell me what the perimeter of the shed is who did their work. What's the perimeter of the shed? You already know, Eric. You weren't even here.
40 feet?
Yeah, because it's...
8 plus 8 plus 12 plus 12.
Yes. So remember I was telling you the only thing I like about the Patriots is the fact that Bill Belichick threw his surface across the field? Well, I found out that another NFL coach, Jay Cutler, who's another coach, I can't remember what team he coaches, they were asking him about his Microsoft Surface. And he said, "You mean that piece of crap iPad knockoff thing?" And then Microsoft got mad and called the commissioner of the NFL, and Jay Cutler got in trouble. I'm hoping that, again, nobody from Microsoft watches my YouTube videos, or they will know exactly what I think of their Microsoft Surface. Because, of course, it is a piece of garbage. 8 plus 12 is 20, and, of course, you had to multiply by 2 to get 40 feet. Now it's not writing at all, but maybe it'll show up. The next question is the complicated one. The shed covers 1/3 of my backyard. Well, that's my yard, yes? So if I divide it into thirds, this is shed. Agreed? And the rest of it is going to be grass when I finish planting it, right? So how big is the shed? 40 feet around, but what's the area it covers? See what I did to you there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I made you find the perimeter, and then I switched to area to see if we would remember grade 5. How do I find the area of a rectangle? Base times height or length times width. So this is 96, yes? So what's this square? 96. So what's this square? 96. So how much area do I have to cover with grass? 96 times 2, which is 192 feet squared. Everybody with me? Okay. So now I can buy rolls of grass that are 1 foot by 5 foot. So how much grass is in one roll? 5 feet squared. I need to cover 192 feet squared. So what math do I have to do? 192 divided by 5, which gives me what for a number when you do that with your calculator? Because somebody did it, but not everybody did it. What is it? It's going to be a decimal. What is it? Because this didn't end in 0. So it's going to be a decimal. This is when I watch everybody writing it down. And I wait for somebody to do 192 divided by 5. Or I can do it longhand. 3, 15, 42, 8, 40, 2, 0, 38.4.
Yeah.
So, if I have to buy 38.4 rolls, how many rolls of sod must I buy? 39 rolls. Because if I only buy 38 rolls, I'm going to have a little corner out here that has no grass in it. And what is Mrs. Myers going to say?
Let's put a garden there.
No, she's going to say, "You're an idiot. Can't you do math?"
You're a math teacher.
Exactly. That is exactly what my wife would say. But my wife does stuff like that all the time. Like when the snow falls, she always says, "We need to scoop off the snow from the driveway." What's wrong with that sentence, Connor? She means me. I've been with my wife for 25 years. You know how many times she's shoveled snow?
Twice.
Not very many. She does that a lot. We need to do some laundry. Oh. To be fair, my wife does a lot of the cleaning. No tidying, though. We're both slobs. You would think But no, we're slobs. Anyway, what is the cost? 39. Oh, I forgot to change my pen back to something that wasn't brown for the corner. 39 times 2.75 to get an answer of whatever it is. I don't even care. $107.25. Boom, boom. Now, Ethan, I have no idea who's telling the truth, but if I walk back there and I see all this written on his piece of paper, what's going to happen?
Well, it looks like you did it.
Exactly. Sometimes, Ethan, you got to work smart, not hard.
Work hard on it.
If you did it wrong, of course, you fixed it now, right, Louis?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Moving along, ladies and gentle people. We are going to change to converting from metric. What's the proper name for metric? SI to imperial and back and forth that way. Now, do you think the method changes? Do you think we're going to do something different? Of course not. Math always makes sense. It's a pattern. It may not make sense to you at the beginning, but it always makes sense because it's always the same thing. So what we already learned was if we have a value we need to convert, we start with that value, whatever it is, money, time, distance, volume, doesn't matter. Whatever that value is, we start with that. And then, what do? We multiply it by a fraction. What is that fraction? It's always what we want to convert to. You mean that piece of crap iPod knockoff thing? What we want to convert to over what we have. No matter what. So if it's time, we want days to minutes. Days is on top, minutes is on the bottom. Right? Oh wait, days to minutes. Minutes on the top, days on the bottom. No matter what. Everybody cool? So all we need to know is the numbers that we have to put in here. Do we have to memorize those numbers? No. Where do we find those numbers? In our book. On page... On page 17, right? Or on the booklet I gave you. Did I give you guys the booklet yet? No, you guys don't have the booklet. I knew one class didn't have the booklet. I couldn't remember who it was. I don't know if I have 30 copies of the booklet here, so I'm going to start it with Ayla. She's going to take one, pass the pile along. We're going to see how far we get. The booklet that is coming around to you right now has everything you need to know for Math 10 in it that you do not have to memorize. All the formulas for the entire year. The only part we care about now is the top half of the first page, which is also in your Outrageous Orchid books. Okay? I'll just wait a moment for that to be passed around. While I write these numbers, and that's not a hashtag, that means number. The numbers come from the data book. 90% of the time. Sometimes they won't. For example, I did not, if we were converting money, that's not in your data book, is it? But I would give you the values, right? If I told you to convert some money, I would say €1 was worth $2.65 Canadian. And then you'd have your fraction. I'd put it right on the piece of paper, okay? If I was doing hours to minutes, 1 hour would equal what? 60 minutes. And then we would do the same fraction. Is everybody cool? All right. Take one, pass them that away. Not that piece. That's garbage. I don't know what the heck's that sticking there. Am I going to make it? Not quite, am I? It's going to be close.
Close, but no cigar.
Oh, Dana. Oh, interesting choice. Tough. Yeah, it might get to you. I'm very interested to see if this is going to work out.
We're in Kingston.
Kingston, Allie, Tyler. Is it going to get there?
Oh, I think you have the perfect number.
No way. He's not here. We don't care about him.
We don't care about Carl.
We love you, Carl, with a K. He's not going to watch this. You guys don't watch the videos. I have data on how many videos get watched. Oh, there was one extra? It's going to Carl. Huh? I have 90 students, and at any given day, a bunch of them say, oh, I don't know. It went so fast. I don't know. And I'm lucky if I get 3 views out of 90 on every day, which should mean 87 of the other kids should all get an A on it, shouldn't they? Because they totally understand it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't work that way. Strange. Mr. Miles, don't get anything. From when? The first day. Have you watched any review videos? No. Okay. I spent another day in here crying into my jambalaya it was today. Not Mexican rice, jambalaya today. Because I was alone. Actually, that's not true. A kid came in for calculus help, but I haven't done calculus since 1993. So I couldn't really remember it. You guys weren't even born the last time I did calculus. Hell, some of your parents were barely born the last time I did calculus. No, that can't be right. I can do math better than that. No. Although it's getting to be the point now where some of my students have parents that are younger than me.
I don't know how old you are. So.
I'm 43.
Oh, no.
I'm almost 43. I'm not quite 43. But, you know,
My dad's almost.
if you had your first kids at 20 and your kid now you're 15, you're 35, that's 8 years younger than me. It's possible.
That's weird.
It's just started to happen, Eric. It's been weird for me too, right? Up until very recently, every parent-teacher interview, the person's been older than me. Like, oh, hello, Mr. Smith. How are you? My name's Matt Myers. No problem, because the guy's way older than me. When I started teaching, I was 23. Everyone was older than me. It's no problem, right? Oh, hello. All right. Now it's like, hi. And pretty soon, I'm going to be as old as, like, I don't know, who's old in the school? Quick, give me an old teacher.
Anyone.
Shippets, yeah, oh my God. One day I'm going to be as old as Shippets. And the people are going to be coming in and be like, I taught you. That's what's really going to freak me out. When one of you guys brings in your kid. That's going to be
I
creepy.
feel bad for you. That kid's not going to.
That is going to be creepy. But I retire at 2033. So that's 16 years from now. So it'll be close.
Ooh, that is
It'll be close. But then, 2033, boom, I'm off to Ecuador. And I'll see you guys later. You can all visit. But yeah, exactly. I've already told my children. All right, let's do some math, shall we? Nothing changes. So here in this first one, my bowling alley is 19 meters long. I want that in feet. Nothing changes. I have the value that I have to start with, 19 meters, and I multiply it by what I want to convert to. I want feet. I have meters. Where do I get the numbers? I get them from my sheet. Now, I just found out today that the booklet I handed out to you has a different scale than the one in your Outrageous Orchid book. The booklet I handed out to you, I believe, has this. 1 foot equals 30.48 centimeters.
Yes.
Yeah. And in your book, I believe you have 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. But of course, you all remember that going from metric to metric, it's just moving the decimal place. So this is the same thing, right? You can use whichever one you want. So I go to my book and I get the number. 1 meter. Oops. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. Now, the 1 is in the numerator spot, so is this multiply or divide? This is divide. So what I'm going to do with my calculator is 19 divided by 0.3048. And that's going to give me a number. Now, when you do that with your calculator, you're going to get a bunch of decimals. You can see where I wrote right here, I do not care about the decimals. What do you get? 62 doesn't matter. Feet. Is everybody with me? See how it's exactly the same thing? It's just going to be yuckier. You're going to have to use your calculator. Whereas when we were going in the same system, we were able to do some of it in our heads, yes? Yards to feet times 3, big deal, right? We were able to do some of it in our head. But now we're going to have to break out our calculator. Now when we get to number 2, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to do twice as much work as everybody else. Why? Read number 2 and tell me how you could make a mistake and do double the work of somebody else. Dana, you're going, yes. See you later. Good luck, whatever it is you are going to do. Corey.
You only need to convert one. Your mistake could be when you convert both of them, because you only need to know one that's different than the third.
You only need to convert one. Well, if you convert that to kilometers, you can compare it to 98. If you convert 98 to miles, you can compare it to 62. Now, here's the other mistake you're going to make. You're going to do a calculation, aren't you? And that's going to give you a number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that number the answer? No. What's the answer? The person's name, Hannah or Farron. Everybody understand? Okay, great. Do whichever one you want to do. I'm going to set them both up. If I'm going miles to K, 62 miles times kilometers over miles, 1.609, right from my sheet, or 98 kilometers. I want miles, 1 over 1.609. Both of those are going to give me 2 different answers, but once I have that number, I can make my decision about who drove further, right? Go. To answer this question, I just need a name. What if I asked you who drove further by how much? Then you got to tell me the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So what was this one? How many people did miles to K? And what was your answer, Ash? 99. How many people did K to miles? Well, not everybody put their hand up for the red one, so that must mean everybody else did this one. What did you get for an answer there?
I changed my answer to 100. Yeah, because you lashed out. Yeah.
61. Okay, that's cool. But because I didn't ask how far, as soon as you saw 99, you knew, right? Ayla.
Like in a test, would that matter? If would you get a full mark? So if you put 99, but you didn't round up, would you get?
I wouldn't care if I was just asking who it was.
Okay.
If I was asking you by how much, then I'm also trying to see if you know how to round. And it's like you're in my head, because the very next couple of questions talk about rounding. So get out of there. It's mine. Leave it alone. Meaning my head. Everybody cool? Rounding is the biggest concern for you guys. You get so angry about, well, not angry, but you're like, oh my God, do I have the right answer? Or I write an answer and you say, oh my God, I don't have that. Because I wrote 0.77 and you wrote 0.76. This isn't elementary school. Okay? When we're doing notes, use that to practice rounding. Okay? So let's look at our next question. Please notice that every question I've added a layer of thinking to it. Yes?
Yeah.
In this third question, what makes it slightly more difficult?
You want to know the height.
I need a height. And what's wrong with it?
You have to convert feet to inches.
I got to convert the feet to inches because I can't convert feet and inches to centimeters in one shot, can I? So I have to do what we did yesterday with the 6 feet. 6 feet, and I want inches. So I'm multiplying by 12 over 1, because 12 inches to 1 foot. So that covers 72 inches. But does that cover Alex's height?
No, it doesn't.
What must I do, Connor?
Add the 2 inches.
I must add 2 more. So Alex is really 74 inches tall. Now can I go straight to centimeters? Yes, using my chart. I want centimeters. I have inches. 1. And what's the number that goes with centimeters?
2.54.
2.54. Since the 1 is on the bottom, is it multiply or divide? Multiply. So I do 74 times 2.54 to get what for an answer? 187.96. So the nearest centimeter is 188. When will this affect you people in real life? When you go to get your driver's license, they're going to ask you for your height. You're going to give them your height. You're going to say it in feet and inches, and they're going to look down to a little chart beside them, and then they're going to find your height and a centimeter for it.
So we don't even need to do that.
You don't even need to do it, but it's useful to know how. Sometimes, if you really want to mess with the woman's head, because it's always a lady, I'm not being sexist. Every time I've gone for my driver's license, it's always a lady. Tell them your height in centimeters. Do the math while you're waiting. Because I walk up there and say 177, and she goes, and she leans over and she goes down the list, and it takes her a second, and I'm sitting there. Oh, I'm so naughty. And she then says, oh, you gave me it. Oh. And then the last time I went for my license, I did that, and then she was filling in the weight and the eye color and everything. So she says, is your weight about the same? I say, yeah. Your eye color? I'm like, lady, it's my eye color. She said, oh, yeah, brown. Hair brown. And then I say, whoa. She's like, oh, I got to put it gray this time. It was tough for me, but I've worked through it. I'm extra sad now because the back of my head is even gray. It used to be brown. I used to fold out the back. I have 3 mirrors in my bathroom. And if I had to shave or something, I would always have the mirror out so I could see my dark brown hair at the back. Make me feel not like a grandpa. But I blame all of you for my gray hair anyway. My mom blamed me for all her gray hair, and she only had 3 kids. And I say I teach 90 kids a day, plus my own 2. I'm allowed to go gray young. Number 4. What's different about number 4? I can convert either one, can't I? Right? I could go meters to feet, or I could go feet to meters. I'm going to give you a little help here. What's weird about that? Is 11 feet 9 inches equal to 11.9 feet? No. It's not equal, is it? Is 11 feet 9 inches equal to 11 and 9/12 of the next foot? Yes. Is 11 and 9/12 of a foot equal to 11 and 3/4 of a foot? Yes. Is 11 and 3/4 of a foot equal to 11.75? Yes. Mr. Myers, you said you can't use decimals in imperial. Is my final answer going to be imperial? No. Is using decimals easier on my calculator? Yes. So if you can, and it's only part of your calculations, are you more than welcome to use decimals? Yes. Talk to your neighbor for 10 seconds and tell me the 3 measurements that you can use decimals for when converting. We just talked about it. The hint is this line right here. Can I use 11 foot 1 inch as a decimal? No. Why?
You can only use quarters.
I can only use quarters. And what are the quarters, Eric?
1 and then a half and then 2/4.
Yes, 1/4. Oops. Got to change to a pen, not a highlighter. But piece of crap iPad knockoff doesn't respond.
Come on, knock off. You got this. Redeem yourself.
1/4 is 3/12, which is 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
1/2 is 6/12, which is 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
And 3/4 is 9/12, which is 9 inches, which is 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75. So now, if I want to convert this, I can go 11.75, can't I? Because it's the same thing. Would you ever hand me in an answer of 11.75 feet for your final answer?
No.
No. Why, Christian? Because it should be in fractions or feet and inches. Because it's imperial. Everybody good? All right. So I have 11.7 feet. That is what I am starting with. I know my truck is 3.5 meters high, so I better change this to meters. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. What do you get for an answer?
$3.5.
3.5 what? 3.58 blah, 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 blah. So what is 3.58? The truck or the bridge? The bridge. So can I drive under it?
Yes, you can.
Yes. Just. If you wonder where this is important, the next time you're driving to Vancouver and you go past 232nd Street, where that white spot, Triple O's gas station is, and where you turn off to go to Fort Langley if you're going, there's a train bridge over the highway right there. The next time your folks drive under that, have a look at the edge of the bridge. It's not pretty because trucks hit it all the time. Why can that only happen in North America? Eric?
Because of two different units of measurement.
2 different units of measurement. Everywhere else in the world, everybody knows their truck in metric, and the height of the tunnel will be in metric. And this happens all the time. That tunnel gets hit all the time. One time when I was a kid, when I was your age in Vancouver, they were trying to take a crane under a bridge. They didn't bother to measure. The crane hit a pipe under the bridge, knocked the crane over, and broke the pipe taking water from Richmond to Vancouver. So like nobody in Vancouver had water it was funny. Another time in America, in Cleveland, truck drove into a tunnel, got stuck, couldn't get it out. They're like, oh my God, we're going to have to demolish the tunnel. What are we going to do? And then some kid said, why don't you let the air out of the tires? Let the air out of the tires, drove the truck out. Wrecked all the rims, but who cares? That's what that idiot gets for not knowing how tall his truck is. All right. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to do, right now, you can move around if you want to talk to your friend, I don't care, to do 5 through 11. But 10, 9, 10, and 11 are a little bit tricky. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are one-steppers. 9 to 11 are a little bit tricky. I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn off the screen. I'm going to let you work on it yourself. Go. All righty. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. No, no answers are on the board yet. That's the work. Well, to be fair, Eric, you missed the lesson on this the first time. Everyone else had an extra day of practice. No, you were here. You may have missed it, but you were here. All right. Who has an answer for me for the first one? Corey. 80.45 kilometers. That'll be fine. 2 decimals is what I like. Round things to 2 decimals. Who's got 6 for me? Liam. I know, but I want Liam. I'm looking at you. I'm saying Liam. Because Liam thinks I'm not going to call him. I'll do that periodically. I'll look at Christian, but I'll say Seamus. Because as soon as I look at some other kid, everybody else goes, whew, he's not looking at me. But I do know everyone's names.
It's 164 yards.
164 yards. Exactly?
Not exactly, though.
My guess is you set this up backwards.
Yes, I did.
All right. Remember, that's why I always say, if you write it out, you can't do it wrong. What you want is on the numerator spot. What about number 7? Who's got an answer for 7 for me? You already did one, Corey. Tyler. Pardon me? 182.88. Yes. And who has number 8? The last of the easy ones. Emma. Okay. Bailey. Sure. 770. Okay. Okay. 773.77. Okay. You'll notice I did no calculating there. Why? What is more important to me? The blue or the red? The blue. Okay. Now, what's weird about number 9? It's yards and inches. So it's tough to change. This is your 2 choices. I took my yards to feet, and then I remembered that 3 inches is 1/4 of a foot. So I had 24 feet, because 8 times 3, and 1/4 more of a foot. And then I changed feet to meters. Your other option was to change yards to meters, and then inches to centimeters, and then add the 2. Whichever way you did it, will you get the same answer? Yes. What was that answer? 7.32 meters. That sounds good to me. Is there anybody that did that question and can corroborate? It's close enough for me. Okay? Everybody understand? All right. What's weird about 10? I've already shown you. 12 feet 6 inches is the same as 12.5. So I can do it all in one step, right? What do you got for me there? Again? You're on fire. Pardon me? 3.81 meters. Anybody corroborate? Agree. No. Because my goal is to make you guys smarter than when you walked in here. No. You all want to be better off than you walked in, yes? There you go. Maybe you forget all the math I ever teach you. The one thing you learn at the end of June is that corroborate means you agree and support that evidence. Great. That is something more you learn than when you walked in here. So I have to be, I did it. No. because I do not pass you, nor do I fail you. You pass you or fail you. I just type some numbers into a computer. See what I did there? Very ninja-y. All right. And finally, number 11 requires some speaking because every single one of you, I'm sure, can tell me what this is in yards. And I'm betting that every single one of you has 15 point, I believe it is 6.2. Is that okay? Why not, Christian? It should be yards, feet, inches, shouldn't it? Right? Because it's imperial. Everyone agree? Now, let's pretend you hand that in to me. 1, 2, 3, 4 scale. What's that worth? 2.5, 3, both. I'm happy with that. That's a right answer, yes? If we measured feet and yards with decimals and you went 15.62 yards away from me, would you be 14.28 meters away from me? Yes, you would. Can you make that into a 4 answer? How? That is pretty close. That part almost equals 2/3, doesn't it? 0.62 is pretty close to 2/3, which is 0.67, right? So if that's 2/3 of a yard, isn't that 15 yards? And 2/3 of the next yard, which is 2 feet? Does everyone agree? That gets you a 4. Could you go one step even further? Could you go feet to inches? You could. You could take this 0.62 and convert that to feet, which will give you 1.86 feet. And then what would you do with that 0.86 of a foot? Convert that to inches, and you would end up with 15 yards, 1 foot, 10 inches. Why do I tell that to you? Simply because technically the bottom one is the best answer. The bottom one is the A+. The bottom one is this kid knows everything there is to know about converting. Do you need to get there? In the real world? No. In the real world, if you know it's almost 16 yards away, is that good enough? Yeah. If you're trying to land a mortar onto the right backyard in Bagrab, you may want to be a little more precise. Does everybody understand? If I'm sending the probe to Pluto and I'm off by a millimeter, then it's not going to make it, is it? It's going to be off by a millimeter here, but out at Pluto it's going to be off by a long ways. In math class, am I happy if you're off by that millimeter? Does that show me you know the concept? Yeah, because this is practice. What bothers me is when I hear, well, I'm never going to do this in real life, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. If you're off by, let's say you're a doctor, and you're off by a little bit when you fix someone's heart. In math class, does it matter? No, you get a little X and correct it. In real life, does that little bit matter? Yeah. Or you're a mechanic. I almost fixed your brakes. I fixed them to 50%. I passed. Okay, Corey, what?
Can I just double check the number 9 answer?
Sure.
Yeah, down the wrong way. Wrong one.
There we go.
I didn't get that. I got that for just the yards. I think you missed the inches.
No, because he.
It should be 7.39.
I got it.
It should be 7.39 meters. All right. I am done. You have 27 minutes left in class. Your first job is to finish this page. Please notice what I have done to you here.
Why do you do this to me?
Because I love you. I want you to be smarter than when you left. You are going to do this question, which you are going to see the right answer to in class. And you are going to do pages 25 and 26. You could work on it right now. You've got 27 minutes left in class. You could get it all done and have no homework. Or you can do these two questions, take 27 minutes to do them, talk to your friend, and have a crap ton of homework. Or something in the middle. It's a spectrum. You choose where you fall on it.
Either way, I have homework.
Okay? Tyler, go. Yes, go. That's what I said. I know what a kid needs when I'm done talking and a hand goes up immediately. I know what that's about. It's not my first rodeo. The first question is easy. The second question is slightly more difficult.
Mr. Myers? So for the stuff that I missed, is it just everything from...
Yeah.
Okay, so just have it all done?
Well, you don't even need it done. Make sure you know how to do it.
Okay, sweet.
Christian, do you want this? I can print these for you right now if you want to work on them right now. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm just going to print you page 25 and 26, and I think there's enough room at the bottom of page 25 and 26 to do the work. Maybe not. Yeah. Just do that in your own piece. And I'll print you 25 and 26 right now. Oh, by the way, some of you who are noticing that I have a list down here of what we are doing. What the hell of it? Noticing I have a list down here of what we are doing. Notice we have just finished 1.3. What's that say?
No.
That says quiz, which means after you see the right answers to 1.3, which is pages 25 and 26, I can give you a quiz at any time after you see those right answers. Might be right away, might be a day later. But you don't have to worry about it. Why? Because quizzes don't affect your mark. They're just there for you to know if you know what you're doing. When I give you that quiz, I'm telling you right now, it will be out of 12. One sec. If you get 12 out of 12 on converting, do you need to study that when we get down to the end of the unit? Or not very much, though, because you got 12 out of 12 on it. If you got 1 out of 12, should that be something you want to maybe come in and see me on X-Block or lunch or something for? That's why you have quizzes. What? Yep, okay. Everyone is good? I just got to print the thing for Christian, and then I'll be right there to help you. Damn it. Christian here. Got a little bit of water cabbage on it. That's now, hey, that's almost perfect. That's a comma. That's not a decimal. That's 11,000. So 18,9. How far did I drive? You got to do 11,000 times 1.609. 6 hours. Okay. Well, if I drove a certain distance for 85 kilometers per hour, what math do I have to do with 85 and how far I drove? And how long I was driving? If I drive 10 kilometers, you with me? I'm riding my bike. Keep the number small. If I'm riding my bike, if I ride at 10 kilometers, and I ride 5 kilometers an hour, how long does it take me to ride an hour? I'm riding my bike at 5 kilometers an hour. How long will it take me to go 10 kilometers? Yeah, you do. How long do I go in 1 hour? 5. So how many hours will it take me to go 10 kilometers? I'm riding at 5 kilometers for 1 hour. How far do I ride? 5 kilometers, right? So for the first hour, I go 5 kilometers. How far did I go in the second hour? Another 5. How far did I go in total? 10. So what math did you have to do with 10 and 5? Because I went 10 kilometers total, and I was riding 5 kilometers an hour. Yeah, because 10 divided by 5 got me how long I was going, right? So I take my distance, 10, and I divide it by my speed, which was 5. So here, do I have a distance? And do I have a speed? So what do I do with my distance and my speed? Come on, you guys just told me it was literally 1 second ago. Okay, so what's my distance?
It takes 22.
You've already done it. I'm going to do the math first. It's 11, 7, 45. So don't round it off. Go to 2 decimal places. 18, 97, 1.
So since you have 6 left, that's your finishing hour.
97,
60.
That's your finishing hour.
Take that.
So that's how many kilometers. That was my distance. Now you know I drove 85 kilometers every hour. So I need that distance divided by 85 to tell me how many hours I was on the road. Understand? Just like riding the bike. It always helps to play with the big yucky numbers and think about easy ones like 10, 5, and 2. Right? And then, because math always works. If it works with 10, 5, and 2, it'll work with 18,897.71 and 85. You're doing the same math, you should get a different number. Now, that is going to give you how many hours I drove, right? But then you got to figure out how to convert it to days, hours, and minutes. And conversions are always the same, 1 over half. But you don't have time on your chart. You all know time. 24, 66. Yes?
Separate hours or
What do you mean? That's how many hours I drove.
But are you supposed to do that and then you have separate answers?
Well, you're going to tell me the whole answer. That is 6 hours. This is yes. Nice job.
Did it? I rounded it.
So what?
I'm
I think your honors class go down to seconds.
Oh god.
And then I made them tell me. Then I made them tell me how long was I away. They were like, "Not days." And then I said, if I was question was I really gone that long? Yes or no? And they all said no, of course not. So give me a reasonable estimate of how long I was actually gone.
Because that's how much you drove, not how much. Because you don't count in stops.
Okay, gotta stop and pee, gotta stop and sleep, gotta stop and eat. But I'm still badass. I did that whole trip in only 14 days. And I spent 3 days in South Carolina, so I actually only drove for 11 days. 9 days of driving, I was away for 11 days. That's hard. What?
But still, you didn't.
Yes, that's absolutely perfect. But if you stop there, I don't know where you're going 24/7. That's really good. Well done. Did you get that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, you do 25 and 26. That's the homework. Well, not the homework. That's the work for the day. If you get it done here, it's classwork. If you don't, it becomes homework. I do have a hole puncher. It's right there by my toaster. Where else would it be? Of course I have a toaster.
So I can come make toast?
Yes.
I got it actually because it's long, so this is not good. That's why I
Can I
got
make pizza puffs?
Okay. Not in a toaster.
In the microwave?
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm about to go.
Yeah, no, I got this one wrong. That's why I was.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
That's why I said you got to look at that.
Yeah.
How can 11,000 miles be 18 kilometers?
Yeah.
All right. 1 sec, Eric. I just want to do this. So the first part was 11,745 times what? 1.609 to get 18,897.71 kilometers. That's how far I drove. Is everybody cool with that? Okay. Now, how do I use that and 85 kilometers to tell me how long I was driving? Eric. I divide that by 85 to get an answer of 222.33 hours. Is everybody cool to there? Now, I want this total amount converted to days, hours, and minutes. So first I need days. I have a value that I want to convert, yes? What is that value? 222.33 hours, and I want what? Days. And I have what? Hours. How many? 1 day, 24 hours. The 1 is on the top, so what math do I do? Divide, and I get 9.26. Everyone agree?
Yes.
So, how many days have I driven? 9 days. So do I care about this 9 anymore? No. So now I have that left over, yes? Which is what? What measurement is that? That is 0.26 what? Days. And now what do I want to go to next? Hours. So I need to multiply. I want hours. And what do I have? Days. 1 day is 24 hours. The 1's on the bottom, so what do I do? Multiply, and I get 6 point... I can't remember. 6.33. Okay? Go for Myers. Cool in the game. Thank you.
It's actually 6.24. I did it in a different way.
0.26 times 24.
No,
Is, okay. Yeah, hold up. That's if you use the 0.26 and you rounded. If you use the whole decimal that was on your calculator, you're going to get a slightly different answer. And there's another way to do it. I can't show you all the ways. I'm showing you one that works. Okay? So, this is 6.24. Now, what is that? That's my hours, yes? So 6 hours. What's that measurement?
That's hours.
0.24 hours. And what do I want? Minutes. And I have hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So what do I do with 60 and 0.24? Times 14 minutes. So you can put 14 minutes there. Now, there's another way to work it out, and you end up with 9 days, 6 hours, and 20 minutes, depending on when you do your rounding. Is rounding important to me, or is this process important to me? The process. If one of you handed me in 20 minutes with all this work, and the kid right beside you handed me in 14 minutes with all their work, and it all made sense, what are they getting? Both right full marks, because the work is what is important to me. Now, if you hand in 27 Gnecta-gazoinks, and no work, what am I giving you? 0. Understand? Is everybody with me? Does everybody see what we did? Again, even though I never showed you time, you will notice that the same math that we did distance, metric to imperial, imperial to metric, imperial to imperial, metric to metric, the method continues to work no matter what we are converting. Is everybody good? Let's say you didn't finish this. Did you follow what happened? And if you didn't, you will notice this flashing little red light here. You can watch it slower later. Okay? Everybody good? Finish 25 and 26. You still got 9 minutes in class.